Welcome back to another episode of the Nurse Eunice TV show. My name is Nurse Eunice. I am the host, and in today's video, I want to discuss a topic that hits close to home. Literally, we're diving into foreclosure, eviction, and financial freefall. What to do before you lose everything. Look, we know times are rough right now. So whether it's rising rent, unexpected job loss, medical bills, the fear of losing your home can feel overwhelming. But this conversation is all about hope, strategy, and the steps to take before it's too late. I am honored to have with me today the amazing Chanelle Williams, the Realtor Who Cares. Chanelle is just not in real estate to sell houses. She's on a mission to guide, educate, and advocate for people who feel stuck or scared when it comes to their housing situation. She brings a wealth of knowledge about foreclosures, rentals, and resources that can truly make a difference between losing it all and getting back on your feet. And so let's jump right in. If you've been losing sleep over the possibility of foreclosure or eviction, look, I've been there, so I totally understand. And that's why today's episode is especially for you. So let's welcome Chanelle. Welcome in.
All right, and thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. When I became a real estate agent, you were my mentor. And of course, over the years, we've been able to talk about the different challenges that I've had. I've lost it all. I've rebuilt. Now I have commercial properties and a residential property. A lot of people right now, due to the current state of the economy, they're losing their homes or they're losing their benefits, their affordable housing. And so that's why I wanted to have this conversation with you, because not only were you a mentor to me and someone I consider a friend, I know that you are that to so many more people. So I want you to please introduce yourself to the audience and let them know about the amazing Chanelle Williams.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
It's a pleasure being here today. My name is Chanelle Williams, and I am the real estate agent who cares. It's just not about a closing. It's not about buying that next house or selling that next house. It's about meeting you where you are to make a difference. And that's my heart's desire. That means a lot, but that's not the case for everyone. And so where you are, I'm here to help.
That's right. That's amazing. And so I want to talk to you, Chanelle, as a realtor. And so it's so hard to not say realtor.
Yes.
So as a realtor, what are some of the earliest warning signs that someone might be headed toward foreclosure?
The first sign is that when you've reached that second missed payment, and you haven't, and you're not able to pay, then that's a sign to really reach out for help. And in that moment, it's to find out what strategies, what can you do? And that's when you need to talk to an expert. A lot of times in our culture, we sit in silence or we suffer in silence. And when it's too late, but the help is there and we don't reach out.
Yeah, I remember when I was going through my financial issues, a lot of it stemmed from investing in multiple rental properties. And when the economy changed in 2006 to 2008, I'm not going to lie, I thought God was punishing me because my financial issues began before others. And so by the time it made it to mainstream, media, I had already had 5 properties in foreclosure. One property was so bad until when the tenants left, they turned it into a trap house. And so the neighbors had taken over that residence. The police wouldn't evict them. And here it is. I'm a nurse who is trying to do what I was told to do, having these properties, investing for my future, and everything went wrong. And it's not because I wasn't paying my mortgage. It was because the people who were supposed to be paying me rent didn't pay their rents. And that's what caused me to lose my houses. And so I have sympathy and empathy for those who right now are having those challenges, because we have people who have lost their jobs. They weren't expecting to lose their jobs this year. And so that is why, again, I wanted to have you on. And yes, you're right. They're going to send you those letters. And when they send you those letters, because we are not usually just behind on our mortgage, we're behind on everything else, credit card payments. And so we like to bury our heads in the sand. And so if you're listening, I don't want you to bury your head anymore. Look, when I went ahead and I filed bankruptcy. And so there are ways. So if you can't save your house, there are things that you can do. And I do want to give this disclaimer. We are not your financial representatives,
No.
and Chanelle is not your realtor.
No, I can be. I can be.
Not yet.
Yes.
So we do want to add those disclosures. So what we're talking about is from personal experience, but you will need to reach out to your own professional, your own consultant. All right. And so what practical steps can people take the moment they realize they're falling behind?
The practical step for me that I would think is to reach out, one, to a realtor, and then second, reach out to your mortgage company. Find out what resources they have that's out there. It can come from short sales. It can come, from the short sales. It also can come before it gets to foreclosure or the loan modification, because you have to, with the people losing their jobs right now, you still have to have that income to prove that you are able to pay, So when that loan modification comes, I'm able to go ahead and move forward,
And so what if someone is hesitant to call because they don't want to feel, one thing is not wanting to accept accountability.
Right.
All right. So we're in this financial state. Let's start from where we are.
Yes.
But now they're calling, and let's say they're not getting anyone the first try. And I hear that a lot with just the students that I interact with. And it's like, well, I called and I didn't speak to anybody.
Right.
If they're now, because of this video, they're going to reach out to their lender, to a realtor, what are some of the questions they should be asking?
I understand that I'm behind. Do you have anything for me? Any programs for me that can, like the loan modification? Also, there are resources out, sometimes with the city of Jacksonville. There are resources that one can look into, going in and saying, hey, I'm behind on my mortgage. Will you be able to assist me? So there are other resources out there, just like a renter.
Okay.
It's the same thing. So we understand that, life is lifing for everyone right now.
Yes.
And when those times and when those things come up, you want to be able to make sure that you talk to your lender, write down who you spoke with.
Understood.
Documentation, the date, the time, whatever, who you spoke with, or their ID number, because sometimes they have the loan officers have the ID numbers. Write down those ID numbers. Even with that, another thing that you would want to do is that make sure you're present in the moment for whatever news they're going to give you. Reach out to a realtor.
Yeah.
Reach out to a realtor, somebody that you can trust and somebody that cares.
And then whenever you're
you.
home, I remember when my homes went into foreclosure, I started getting bombarded with messages and flyers from different companies.
Yes.
And so I do want people to be mindful that whenever your home goes into foreclosure, you're going to be contacted by a lot of people, some of which may not have your best interest at heart. So I need for you to reach out to someone like Chanelle, a realtor who cares. And so, or if you don't have a realtor, of course you purchased your home, so someone had to assist you. And then sometimes we don't want to go back to that person because we're embarrassed about our current situation. And so I want you to get over that embarrassment. That is a misconception, because how do you know your realtor hasn't gone through bankruptcy? How do you know your realtor hasn't had a foreclosure? So I want you to get out of your own head, get out of your own way, so that you can start strategizing and improving your financial future.
And I want to say something about that. My pastors always say have a quote that a closed mouth won't get fed. A closed mouth won't have questions to be answered either. So we want to make sure that we're here. We are here, and I have attorneys that work with me. That's a title company. She's an attorney, and also my broker is also an attorney. So the thing is you want to find out what resources are out there to help. Don't suffer in silence.
Yes.
It's not, the time is to stop that. We have help and we have resources.
So God told me to share my testimony. And I know I share a lot, but specifically about what happened to me. Like I saw I saw what's coming now 2 and 3 years ago. And I was telling people to prepare, don't overspend, save your money. And yet people were buying red bottoms and doing a whole bunch of other things that probably, didn't have their financial interest as the priority. So now I posted this video, and that was maybe 2 years ago, talking about my journey through foreclosure and bankruptcy. today I still get people who tell me that that video encouraged them.
Wow.
And so I thank you for coming and sharing, because a lot of people don't know that regular, everyday nurses, doctors, they sometimes overspend.
Yes.
Okay. That money that you're making as a travel nurse, that money has probably dried up. So what are you going to do now? Because you have too much house and too little income, and you can't keep working yourself to death. So what you're going to do is take some of the recommendations, the steps that Chanelle just told you, because what we don't want you to do is we don't want you homeless.
No.
Okay. All right. But you can always, if you work with a realtor. So let's talk about those different options that you mentioned. You mentioned loan modification, forbearance, and then a short sale. Talk to the audience as if it's somebody who doesn't know anything about real estate. What does that mean?
Okay, the thing about it, those are different programs. The forbearance is that when you've gotten behind and you need to catch up, just like with the loan modification, they almost kind of go in hand in hand. These are all programs and steps to get you back, to see if you qualify to get back and to save your home.
There was something you mentioned before about different programs that whenever they call their lender, they need to ask about. And so briefly, can you explain the differences between loan modification, forbearance, and short sales? And if you can't remember all those, I'll just repeat them later.
Okay. So the thing is, I'll kind of tie all three of them together.
Okay.
When you talk to your mortgage loan officer, what you want to do, you want to go ahead and tell them that you want the forbearance, tell them that you want the loan modification. Those things are to go ahead and assist you with making sure that you are able to continue with this payment plan or the arrangement, that you can go in and still save your home. That's what you want. If your home is already gone to the foreclosure, it's still a possibility where you can save your home. You don't have the answers if you don't ask the questions. So that's why
we didn't say it again. You don't have the answers if you don't ask the questions.
It's beyond that moment of those big words, bold words that comes across that envelope, comes across that email or that phone conversation. You have to reach out. You have to reach out. This is in this time, as long as you have land, you have money. You have land, you have money. Reach out, and we're here to help. We're here to help. Get connected.
So now the other term is, let's say there's no way that they can save their home. Maybe they lost their job, so they can't do a loan modification because they don't have proof of employment. How does the short sale work?
Let's get that thing listed and sold before it's an auction date or anything else with that property. Let's get in and get it sold. Get with a realtor or whatever. And then I have a title company and attorneys that I work with, that partner with, and we can go ahead and make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost jobs, so a lot of them are going to be in this situation. How can, all I do is train, so I love training people up. Are there any things that you have seen where someone was able to increase their income that allowed them to save their home? And if so, would you speak on that?
Well, one young lady, she started baking cakes and selling dinner. So Fridays, whatever, she used her money and she started going in and just making, cooking dinners on the weekends, taking them construction sites or whatever, and putting her business out there. So it was working from home, but she did it. She started raising the money. She saved her car.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, she saved that car. Those kids that she had, they still had a roof over their head, and she was able to save the home. And the other situation, they were not able to save the home, but they did get money out of it.
And that's something similar to what I did. I did the Deed-in-Lieu foreclosure for my primary property, because there are different programs based on whether or not this was an investment or a commercial property versus a residential property. And so I was able to do the Deed-in-Lieu foreclosure, and I left the house when I vacated it. Pretty much they were able to rent it out the next week. That's how clean it was. But because I left that house in good condition, I received a check for $3,000. And that helped me start my next transition, the next journey in my life. And what I appreciate about that is I filed bankruptcy, lost the properties, filed bankruptcy, did not include my residential property in the bankruptcy. Later, this is back when Countrywide was in existence. They did not reassume the mortgage, and the property value was low, but what I owed was high. And I was like, hey, I'm not gonna do a remodification. It's just best that I give you back this house. You give me $3,000. Can I tell you that within 3 years, I had another home and a commercial property?
Right.
So
it's possible.
It's possible.
Yes.
It's possible. So I don't want anyone, and my credit was improved. So so it's like life has so many ups and downs.
Right.
It's about your mindset. So let's talk about the mindset of someone who you've seen a lot of winners. Okay. So we're not just going to talk about the negative.
Right.
They've lost their property or now they've been evicted. Can you give me a success story?
I had a young lady just the other day, actually, we were talking. She was actually coming to rent an apartment. She had 2 previous evictions. One was when the pandemic happened. When it just started, she lost her job. The second one was her husband when he got sick and he died. So again, life was life, and right? So I told her, I said, did you think about your 401k? She never thought about that. Nobody ever told her that. So she was able to go in, do her 401k. Between that, she paid off all of the other debts, but she's in a home. She is in a home. It was a seller finance, but she's in a home.
Yes.
So it's so many different steps, but you have to put the work in also. And I get so emotional about it because that's another human with a life story.
Yes.
And I get passionate about it because how many other people have not answered the questions, not asked the questions to get the answers needed.
Yeah. Well, today we're changing that.
Yes.
Because we have 1 million viewers on one platform and tens of thousands on others. And so we want you to take action. As you said, a closed mouth won't get fed. It will not get fed. And I'm here to tell you that your favorite, your beloved Nurse Eunice has lost properties. But you know what? The current value of the properties that I own now is more than the properties combined of what I lost. So I need for you to not look at it. I know right now it just seems really dire and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My kids are going to be in transition. So you can reach out to family members if you have them. You can reach out to friends. Look, I moved into a 2-bedroom apartment. They charged me double security deposit because I had a foreclosure, and because you still have to have a few years of good payment history after you file a bankruptcy. But I went ahead and I paid what I needed to pay. I served my time because I knew that was not going to be my final story. All right. So I know that if I can do it, you can do it too. So I want to stay in that same vein because a lot of people are losing their Section 8 benefits. There's not any affordable housing, or there's not enough to meet the needs. I know that you have some valuable information to share. We have a lot of parents, a lot of single moms who within the next 2 years, their credit's not good and they're going to need to find a house or housing. Would you please speak on that?
We all know that Section 8 has changed a lot of their policies. And what used to be when you can stay
indefinitely, pretty much,
you could stay forever. But now that time has changed and the time has come for accountability. So now you have to get up and you have to work. You have to do something outside the norm and to provide. Get a job, get educated for one thing. And if you're going to, let me go back, get a job and get educated. You have to go ahead and understand the times are changing. That voucher, unless you have some type of disability, you have a child, some type of illness, but that's the child. That's still not you.
And as you get older, and that child's going to age out, 18, they're no longer in, they don't, how should I say this? At 18, you don't get to have this subsidized housing because that child is now an adult. So now you're 50, you're 60, and you don't want to be starting this process at an older age.
Because you're like in a rat race. Now you're trying to catch up with time. Value the time that you're in and start now. I mean, the thing is that this is real. This is real. And right now you have so many people that do not have the public housing. That public housing, when they do that recertification, they find anything there that you have reported income, you are probably going to jail.
Yes.
You know, and you are probably going to get kicked off the program. And most likely, what are you going to do? The time is now. Wake up, do something, and to better yourself, to say, you know what? Hey, it served me while I was here.
Yes.
But now, what am I going to do now to go in and make sure that I can provide for my family? Another thing is that it's a waiting list in some of the public housing. It's a waiting list. It's a waiting list even for Section 8. So to get those new vouchers,
yes,
they're screening very strategically, and scrutinizing everything. You have to make sure that your information stays the same. Keep that portal, update any information with them now. You're not talking directly to your caseworker anymore.
They're using AI?
Yeah, it's a call center.
Wow.
So it's a call center that you call in or you email, and 4 or 5 people who may be working and answering the phone, that's going to be working on your case. So that's not going to be, Miss Mary not going to be a caseworker. So a lot of things have changed, and you really need to be educated on that. I am looking into the other side where they're going to, if you people who've been on the system, where they have the home buying part of it, if they're still going to do that. So maybe in the next segment, I'll have some answers, for that to make sure.
And then you all stay to the end. I'll make sure I give you Chanelle's contact information. But locally, and I'm sure this is not just a local program, but I need for you to research it in your area. It's called Family Self-Sufficiency. And so they usually work with Section 8 and Housing Authority residents to help them become sufficient. And so we work with them in that we provide the job skills training so they can get certifications. But through those different certifications, they help you with down payment assistance. They also help you pay for your training, and then you get to use some of that money in order to go towards your home. And so if you're not asking for help, because as Chanelle is telling you, so first we talked about foreclosures, but now we have evictions, more future evictions due to the changes with the Section 8 in the housing program. Don't wait 2 years. Don't wait till it's too late. I need for you to take some actions. And so what are 5 things, or as many as you can tell us, that someone who would be facing a move out from Section 8 in a year, what should they be focusing on right now?
You need to be focused on saving money. You need to focus on making sure you're on a job or getting the job training. You need to focus on your credit. Getting that credit. What are those things that you've done over this time? The system was for assistance, not to go ahead and be out of budget. To be out of budget. And the people that's not on Section 8, who's facing eviction. When you're facing eviction on Section 8, you're going to lose your voucher. You're going to lose your voucher. There are resources out here. They have the Eviction Diversion program that's out here. That's and hopefully they will not run out of money.
Yes. A lot of these programs are running out of money. Yeah.
A lot of the agencies, and then they have all the systems tied in now. So if you go to Catholic Charities and then go over here to somewhere else, they'll know that you're
double dipping,
a repeat offender.
A double dipping. So you went over here to help with your lights, and you go over here to get help with your lights, and so now they're able to track all of that. Wow.
Even with the rental assistance. So if Catholic Charities paid your rent, Jewish families paid your deposit, and City of Jacksonville paid your lights, that's another thing, that they're looking at. Those systems are tying into each other, which I think is a phenomenal thing, because now you have that one person can't abuse the system, and there's room for others who really need the assistance. Not that they didn't need it, but to abuse it over and over because I want to do my own thing. A Chris Brown concert versus paying your rent.
And those same programs you just mentioned also help with job placement, career certification. So, like you say, sometimes they're making it too easy for people to abuse the system. Family, we've covered so much today, and I want to thank Chanelle again for coming. Remember, she's the Realtor Who Cares. I'm going to give you her email address. And so Chanelle, for someone who may have a question, and yes, Chanelle, she works a full-time job. She's a realtor full-time. And so it may take her a day or so to respond to you. But what is your email address?
My email address is info.ihavehelp @gmail.com.
Yeah. And so remember, if you're in a financial struggle right now, remember this. Being broke is temporary, but that mindset, we need you to shift your mindset. Being broke is temporary. And so your mindset is by choice. And so if you change your mindset, if you ask for help, remember, you're resilient, you are worthy, and you are capable of rebuilding with confidence. You can rebuild your career, and you can also rebuild your coins. All right. So everybody, we will see you in the next video. I'm Eunice, and this is
Chanelle. Have an amazing day.
Bye.